A-daddle-a-dum, daddle-a-dum, daddle-a-dum, dum-dum, daddle-um. Doctor Who again, Doctor Who review. It's the early hours of the morning. Why do we do this? And I'm talking about I guess it'd be the fifth episode called Dot and Bubble. There will be spoilers, as we need to discuss various plot points held therein. Are you good? Right, there will be plot points. This is there's some stuff going for it. There's some stuff not going for it. A recap of the plot. We're in this domed city called Fine Time on this planet, and everyone is kind of entranced with this kind of VR social media thing called the Bubble, which is projected by a little metal ball called a dot, hence the title Dot and Bubble. And the young folk wandering around are again enmeshed in this vacuous social media experience. It's like oh man, God, I didn't know there was a spot coming up. I'm 53, you know. So yeah, they're all kind of under in the thrall of this social media thing, and they work 2 hours a day in a bullshit. Am I allowed to say bullshit job which isn't real? All the people are very, very young. Now, initially I thought that Russell T Davies was merging two ideas. You know, there was the ark from Hitchhiker's Guide that crashes on prehistoric Earth. Is it Ark B? The Golgotha Ark, which are full of useless people. I thought it was combining that idea, that these were all the useless people from the society, combine it with Logan's Run, that the sluggy monsters were going to eat everyone who was a certain age. I think they said like 27. And so I was thinking Logan's Run, maybe. But again, Davies skips on a lot of details with this one because it's not about the story isn't about the story. The story about the themes. Remember that. The story isn't important because in a story you have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you have a universe that makes total sense. In this, Davies leaves out bits because that's not important to you, so you don't think about those bits. It's not like last week's one, which was a mystery and things needed to be left out to maintain the mystery. There are bits missed out, like one, how does the Doctor find the oh god, what's her name? Pepperbean, Lindy Pepperbean. How does he come into? Why does he focus on her when there's thousands of other young people that he could tap into on that Dot and Bubble system? But I'm getting beside the point. Anyway, so they're in thrall of this social media system, and there are these slug creatures that are going around eating them, and the Doctor's enmeshed in all this. And that's the story. There's not a lot to it. It has a Black Mirror aesthetic to it, which was kind of good, though it was horrific that in the future, this is a true measure of horror, that in the future Timmy Mallet will still exist. I've got a sneeze coming. Sodding hay fever. lesser YouTubers would edit that out and look professional. Me, forget about it. So yeah, that's the story basically, is that the kids are being blinded to the immediacy of danger around them by the social media, to the point where Lindy Peppercorn, no that ain't right, Lindy Pepperbean cannot walk unassisted without the thing because it tells her where to go. And when she turns it off, she's all staggering around, except for when she isn't, which is literally a few moments later when her hunky beau, Ricky September, played by the very distinctive Tom Rhys-Harris. He should be on House of the Dragon. I think he's got a very distinctive face. Got a bit of the Alfie Allens about him. Anyway, I'm digressing. That's it. That's the story. And so the Doctor, with the help of Ricky September, has to get Lindy Pepperbean to the sewers or the underground conduits, pipeways, to save them. Now, you don't know why he's picked her. You don't know how he's come across them. There's lots of the story missing because that's not important. What's important is social media and being blind to things and kind of being in a bubble. You get it? In a bubble, in a vacuum. You've seen what he's done. You've seen what Russell T Davies. He's like a modern day Dennis Potter. He is. He's a genius. He's a genius. He is. And that's the story. That's it. That's the story. But you know there's something not quite right about it, because if you look at early on in the story, the way that Lindy Pepperbean interacts with the Doctor initially, you go, wait a minute, that don't seem right. You might just think she's being a little bit off. They're also incredibly vacuous as well, because none of them do anything other than exist in this bubble, except for Ricky September, who admits to turning it off and reading books. And that's why he's a bit different to them. He's a bit more with it. And the real shocker comes, spoilers, when the lead character in this sacrifices Ricky September, her beau. She just gives him up. She gives him up to the rampant AI. She gives him up as if it was nothing. And then you instantly think, oh, wait a minute, there's something not right here. There's something not right. And the payoff is delicious. The payoff is delicious because they make it into the bowels of the earth and to the exit. And who's waiting for him but the Doctor? That didn't quite make sense because he couldn't get into the city, but he was there. Anyway, but don't worry, Russell's not going to tell us. But they're planning to leave on a boat, escape to the wilds, the wild blue yonder, and start again. These people can't even fend for themselves. And so the Doctor says, look, you can come with me. He offers them a lift because he can see it's going to be absolute disaster for them. And then Lindy Pepperbean says to him, we can't go with you. And the message comes, boom, and hits you right in the nose. Now, I actually burst out laughing. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a very funny twist. I thought it was a delicious, beautifully constructed twist that made me laugh out loud. I know that's probably not the reaction I should have got, but I did find it funny. I thought it was hilarious. Yes, because the Doctor has come across a load of futuristic space racists. And they say that his box is voodoo. Again, how would they know what voodoo is if they could barely exist without the dot and bubble, But yeah, so they're space racists, and the Doctor, he's like, what? Of course, if it was any of the other Doctors, there wouldn't have been this issue. But because, a different Doctor who's I don't know, different. They're racists, space racists, futuristic space racists. And I thought that's brilliant. I thought it was excellent. No, I thought it was good. I thought it was a very good anti-racist story because they end up just going off to get eaten or destroyed or killing themselves, and that was the story. Now, I liked it, but it's not perfect. I liked it, but it's not perfect because we don't know how the Doctor found them. Which again, the story itself ends up being another Doctor Light episode, and we had 2 Doctor Light episodes back to back, number 73 and Bubble and Squeak are back to back. And now I think it would have helped if they'd have distributed these a bit better. Maybe if Dot and Bubble would have been the second episode, Space Babies, Dot and Bubble, the Beatles one, just redistribute them a bit better. But instead we had 2 of these Doctor Light episodes back to back. I thought it might have been better if, I don't know, Davis gets the Doctor inside the city and he leads her out. There could have been a little bit more used with him. It's just, again, Dr. Light again. It's like, come on, we had that last week. So yeah, and then also the reasons why the slugs are eating them whenever. Well, I think looking at what Ricky September discovers when he looks at the scanner to call home and he sees that the home world, has already been ravaged by these creatures. They must have followed them as like little sluggy things, maybe less, I don't know. But then you've got the slugs, but then the slugs are also under the control of the AI that has turned against its charges, its wards. And that's why they were being eaten in alphabetical order. So yeah, that's where it kind of fell over for me. Now, again, with a few tweaks to the script, right, instead of the homeworld being eaten, the homeworld could have just, I don't know, denied the call. And they could have been just like fodder or fuel. The bugs, the slugs, eat the young people and then poops out fuel. And that's why they send the young people there, because they've got to be a certain age before all the nutrients. You could really play with it and make it even more like body horror, horrific, or maybe the slugs are actually the adult stage of those people, and it's it's body horror. You could have done some really good body horror with that. And messed around with expectations, but instead they're just these kind of slugs that are controlled by the AI. That bit didn't kind of work for me, but I like the premise of it. I like the anti-social media message. Again, because all I see now is people walking around like I call them. I say that they're kirking it, because they walk around. I haven't got my phone with me. But imagine this CD is a phone. I see people walking around like this, either looking at their phone or talking into their phone as they're walking, like they're James T. Kirk surveying an alien planet. And that's great, but they keep nearly walking into me when I'm walking my dog, so I'm aware. I've only accepted 2 calls whilst walking along on the street. And both of them were when my pets were in the vet and the vet needed to call me and I answered on the street. The rest of the time, my mobile stays in my back pocket because I don't have any friends. And that's how I like it. And that's why I watched Doctor Who at 53 years old. So yeah, I quite liked, and I liked the payoff with them being space racists. I thought that was funny. It made me laugh. And I thought Ncuti Gatwa, Mr. Gatwa, played the role very. He played it kind of, that kind of exasperation, futile exasperation. It was like the opposite of the Eccleston "Everybody Lives" moment, where he's just like, you got me. There's no saving him. But it would have been nice what attracted him and the TARDIS to them in the first place. an SOS or a Mayday or something, because that's how Doctor Who works. The Doctor stumbles into a situation, tries to figure out what's going on, finds something happening behind the scenes which sometimes people aren't aware of, and then fixes said problem. He didn't actually fix anything. Again, this is another episode where he didn't actually fix anything. Did he save the people? No. Did he get rid of the bugs? No. Or slugs, or whatever you want to call them. All he did was lead. Well, did he lead them all? Maybe he led them all. I don't know. Did they all get his message? He led the space racists to the sewers for them to go off and probably face their own annihilation in the wilds. And that was the story. Another successful episode. Look, Devil's Cord. Did he do anything with that? No, the Beatles saved the day then. 73 yards. That was Ruby Sunday's episode. This time around, nobody wins. Everybody presumably dies. So next week we've got the they're calling it the Bridgerton episode. I don't know what that is because I've never watched it, and I'm not a big fan of these costume period drama things, but there's a laser gun and bird people in it, so it could be fun. It could be exciting. But yeah, the episode, I enjoyed it. I like the Black Mirror aesthetic to it. I think some of the story mechanics, a little bit of tweaking there. But yeah, the whole Dr. Light thing, you need to shuffle those episodes around, Russ. You need to shuffle them around so we get some good spacing. Other than that, me and the missus, we talked about after and said, yeah, that was fun, that was interesting. But again, Dr. Light bit kind of let it down. So there you go. But if he'd have used some of my ideas, it would have been an even better episode because, I think Russ, he likes all the flash. There's too much flash and not enough bang, if you know what I mean. And sometimes you want to put the banging gang. Oh, that's Gary Glitter. We're not allowed to mention him anymore. So, what did you think? Let me know in the comment box below. Tell me your theories. Tell me your theories. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've gone on far too long. I've got carried away again, and I'm ever so sorry. I'll try and be good next time. Let's see what we've got this time. I don't think this one works. Let's see. No, this one doesn't work. But it's one of those ones. Does it work? Oh, it does. There was a little bit of charge left in it. So remember, always be careful where you hold it. Let me try it again. Nope. See, it's run out of juice. Nope. Always. Oh, this isn't working out too well. We'll need another one. How about this? We'll use this one. Remember, always be careful where you put your sonic screwdriver. Night night.